Okay. Hello. Let's start on easy. I don't know enough about this game to start on a harder difficulty level. If it's anything like Pillars of Eternity, things are not going to be easy, even on easy.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spymaster and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Okay. So the female body types all look pretty much the same. That's No surprise there. Ugh. Alright, whatever. It doesn't look like they put much effort into being able to customize your character. In terms of their appearance, at least.
That wasn't so hard. We must rest soon.
Found something. Heads up, we have company.
Ah, whatever. Hi, Adam. This is Tyranny. It's a game by Obsidian. I think it uses the Pillars of Eternity engine. So we're playing an enforcer for some evil overlord, I think, is the idea. I'm not sure on the details. Trying to make a character. Okay, let's see here. Pit fighter, hunter, guild apprentice, noble scion, soldier, lawbreaker, war mage, or diplomat. I'm gonna guess it doesn't make that much of a difference. Oh, diplomat. Sword and shield, okay. Either reduce their armor or they... Alright, take that one. I'm tired, not feeling too good. A little depressed. I figured I should do something. Okay, I get a secondary one. Short bow. Okay. I mean, whatever. Okay, let's see what we got. Selecting the conquest option will allow you to play through Kairos' conquest of the tiers. Choosing how your character is involved in the invasion. Okay, sure. Why not? The doctor poked another hole in my ear.
All the world has fallen to Kairos. And now the Overlord's eye is on the tiers, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tiersmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
Okay. During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during the invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tiers respond to you. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tiers. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tiers, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tiers that Kairos' will is insurmountable. Infiltrate or Gates of Judgment. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with the advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus each had a different plan to infiltrate the capital city. Either lend your skills to the elite disfavored scouts to capture a border garrison, Graven Ash insisted that an early victory in the offensive would boost the morale of his troops and diminish the haughty overconfidence of the Southerners. Alright, let's see here. Scarlet Chorus raided villages and small towns, conscripting every able-bodied man and woman into the army. The voices of Nurat emphasized the rewards of conscription and enslavement over wanton bloodshed. Apparently his soldiers needed the reminder. Okay. The Oathbound scouts identified a modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw the preparations and offered your opinions of the strategy. When the clashing of swords and spears fell to silence, followed by the cheering of disfavored scouts, you were least surprised. Containing the fire. The Bastard City's resident fire mages threatened to the first leg of the conquest. Kairos' forces put a stop to their unchecked power. Hi, Glorious. We're trying to make a backstory for our character here, I guess, in terms of the conquest of this city, and then we're going to wind up being the new law in that city, I think, is the idea. Found an ally within the city to prepare the way for the approaching armies. Okay, sure, why not? Insight agent. With the border garrison captured by your disfavored allies, you traveled ahead of Kairos' armies and lurked in the shadows of the Bastard City. You decided that converting one of the locals to Kairos' side would help bring the city to its knees. After all, corruption starts within. Either enlist a bitter captain the guard to sell military secrets to the disfavored. Better that Kairos' forces march to their next inevitable victory well informed, or come to the arrangement with a well-connected smuggler who knew how to sneak agents of the Scarlet Chorus behind the city walls. Scarlet Chorus were better operatives than soldiers, and this work requires subtle touch. Okay, sneak the agents into the city. After accepting his deserved payment, the smuggler uncovered a long-forgotten tunnel that intersected the sewers of the Bastard City. Armed with maps of the subterranean layout, your Scarlet Chorus allies fanned out to occupy various city districts under cover. They spent the ensuing weeks murdering key officials and sabotaging defenses wherever possible, weakening the Tyr's capital under the very noses of its leaders. Betrayal of the Bastard City. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for your arrival of Kairos' forces. But you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How would you assist in the fall of the Bastard City? Now, this changes what ability I get. Warrior's Respite sounds good, I guess. You challenged the commander of the Bastard City's defenses to an honorable fight to the death. Disfavored wished to spare soldier lives for the battles ahead and civilian lives for occupation. I mean, it's an RPG, so it's going to be text-heavy, yeah. Betrayal of the Bastard City. The city marshal was an old but experienced fighter, and his value to the guard was an accepted truth. After making guarantees for your protection, you met him in the square of the Market District and fought in the view of tense onlookers. The battle drew on longer than you thought possible. Good fortune struck with an ornamental chain hanging from the marshal's armor snagged the quillion of his sword, granting you the opportunity to end his life swiftly. Kairos' forces celebrated your return to camp and the dissolution of enemy morale. All agreed that the Bastard City was poised to crumble. The Bastard City settled into a new state of normalcy with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered alongside rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Tunan sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as a judge and overseer of the settlement of Lethion's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realm of Apex. Lethion's Crossing. here too. Years ago, Lithian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient ode walls. A pact between the settlers and a mercenary company meant the caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lithian's crossing drew Kairos' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world. The Archine of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in bloodless victory. Tunon dispatched you to travel alongside Kairos' forces and bring order to the region. Siren, Archon of Song, used her arcane charm to lure locals into joining Kairos' army. As a patroness of the Scarlet Chorus, her efforts were critical to the conscription of new recruits. When an enthralled, disfavored soldier joined her cult, his company feared that the Archon was growing out of control and needed to be stopped. The iron must flow. Kairos' smith mages worked day and night to create weapons. No one faulted their dedication, yet production was low. The plans that came to light proved divisive to the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus. On one hand, any additional manpower was needed for fighters, not forges. On the other hand, the celebrated weaponry of Kairos' armies needed to be fiercely guarded. The Scarlet Chorus took refugees from the recent influx and forced them to serve in Kairos' military. You repurposed these individuals to haul wagons of iron for the smith mages. This proved an inconvenience to the Scarlet Chorus, who relied on their force of numbers to be effective in the field. You conscript help from a local tribe of beastmen. Their strength would be more than offset their disobedience. The disfavored protest. The savages have access to the secrets of iron, but their voices were few compared to support from the Scarlet Chorus. Okay. I guess get the refugees. The population of Lithian's crossing had swelled from the emptying of lands destroyed by Kairos' armies. Although the Scarlet Chorus fought to keep the refugees under their control, the need for production could not wait. The new recruits were assigned to haul iron ore from treacherous mine shafts, labor more befitting slaves than Kairos' artisans. Though the disfavored grew stronger with the advantage of more weapons, the Scarlet Chorus diminished as their ranks found themselves with one less opportunity for growth. Pick up the armory. As the forges improve production, both armies demand preferential treatment. Tensions rise as disfavored and Scarlet Chorus soldiers rubbed elbows with mercenaries hired to guard the forges. Kairos' armies use Lithian's crossing as a reprieve from the war. The city grew more crowded as a mercenary army hired by the Archon of Secrets occupied the barracks, where they drained resources and escalated tensions. The disfavored wanted nothing to do with the sellswords, but the Scarlet Chorus sought to invite them to the fold. You let the Scarlet Chorus and the mercenaries engage in combat games and challenges, and allowed laws against revelry and merriment to go unenforced. Those who won the contest took a greater share of provisions, and sellswords of merit were invited to join Kairos' army. Okay. The games proved an excellent opportunity to relieve tensions, settle disputes, and guarantee future cooperation between the two forces. Any grievances were resolved by ritual combat. Messier than your adjudication, but arguably more entertaining for those outside the arena. The mercenaries who proved themselves worthy opponents found reward in joining the ranks of the Scarlet Chorus, where many of them carved out positions among the elite fighters. Who controls the crossings? Tragedy struck when a mercenary hired by the Voices of Nerat injured a force-bound artisan, leaving him unable to practice his craft. Tunon ordered the mercenaries to leave the city in the hands of Kairos' more responsible servants. Only a token garrison could be left behind while the armies returned to the fort. as the disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus showed increasing tension and hostility toward each other. Tunon decreed it best that only one force controlled the crossing. Granted to the disfavored, I guess. The disfavored planted a modest garrison in the settlement of Lithian's Crossing. Though the force was larger than might be needed to police the small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmiths became the true agenda of the defense force, as these magical craftsmen kept the disfavored invasion force suited in iron. Relieved at the departure of the Scarlet Chorus, the citizens of Lithian's Crossing felt they got at least the least of two burdens. You received word from Graven Ash that thanking you for your decision. The forge-bound and their weaponry could not be entrusted to the voices of Nerat. With the mercenaries expelled and Lithian's Crossing under new leadership, Kairos' forces congratulated themselves on bringing order to the settlement and guaranteeing productive flow of resources. Over the course of this diversion, the army front advanced further into the tiers. Your skills were needed in the realm of Azure Stalwart or the Vellum Citadel. Vellum Citadel? The Vellum Citadel was an archive and library of massive scale. The inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that centuries ago carved out their own mountain as refuge on lands unsettled by the other major realms. Legend said that the Citadel housed a treasure trove of arcane knowledge. The Overlord's spies infiltrated the school and confirmed as much. The time was ripe to send a detachment to the Great Library Fortress and force the scholars to yield to Kairos. So we're burning the Library of Alexandria. Song of Ensnarement. Chain of Command. Siren, Archon of Song, used her powers to enthrall enemy mages who crept beyond the Citadel walls. After Kairos' forces rounded up the arcane practitioners, the disfavored began executing the new captives before they could share dangerous knowledge, a crime under Kairos' law with the Scarlet Chorus. You punished the disfavored for executing mages bound to the Scarlet Chorus, ordering that several disfavored soldiers be given to the Archon of Song as her personal bodyguards. The wisdom of the sages and knowledge of the Vellum Citadel were too important to silence. The disfavored balked at entering the Archon's service, but your ruling left them with no recourse. Archon Siren delighted in having new toys to play with, and promptly enthralled her personal guard. You spotted them in camp days later, following their new mistress with wide-eyed devotion. Right of command. The Archon of Song incited Scarlet Chorus recruits to fight their leaders. Bosses were killed and supplanted left and right. The disfavored demanded an end to the practices for the good of the conquest. You agree with the disfavored arguments. The right of command had its place, but not when Kairos' forces were outnumbered and reinforcements were weeks behind, if not longer. Yeah, okay. Sounds good to me. The Scarlet Chorus, even the gang bosses, argued in favor of their ritual contest killing. In the end, they agreed to suspend the practice for the remainder of the Vellum Citadel campaign. Lacking an outlet to settle scores or deal with the pent-up hostility, tensions flared between commanders and recruits who were forced to act against their better nature and communicate. The Edict of Fire. Food and morale dwindled as the siege party realized the enemy would win this war of attrition. Tunon sent word that Kairos' patience had run thin. The Overlord would now cast an Edict of Fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. You could also wait until sunset, giving them ample time to flee or make amends. Claiming they still have spies within the Citadel, the Scarlet Chorus urges you to warn the mages of the Overlord's edict. Granting their request, you met with an enemy under a blue flag of peace and warned them of their doom, giving the Chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. I'm guessing I want to try to be as nice as I can, but that also means I need to move up the ranks to get anything done. I don't know. Adam, I'm not sure what kind of character I'm making here. You confront the mages with a warning and hope the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the Citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook and red-orange light glowed from the foundation of the sprawling Citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved in an explosive force, gushing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches in the surrounding land. Days later, the flames still raged on, the conflagration continually fed and renewed by the power of the edict. The Edict of Fire. The armies of Kairos left the devastation of the Vellum Citadel in silence. From that day forward, the Tears came to be known, the once noble Citadel, as the Burning Library. This was an undisputed loss of resources, knowledge, culture, and life, but a message had been sent. The Overlord will not tolerate defiance. You didn't have long to rest before Tunon called you into service once more. You were one of the last to depart from the mountains, and as you journeyed off, you spotted a few campfires in the mountains. They were mere specks dwarfed by the inferno, the last gasps of the survivors, or perhaps looters from Kairos' army, bored and daring enough to pick through the ashes. Conquest complete. You've reached the end of this conquest. Okay, I guess that's it. That's our character.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused. And Kairos has one message for the Archons. Crush the Oathbreakers, or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict. A magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
Oh joy. Okay. Fatebinder, I presume. We've been expecting you. Okay, so I have a time limit, basically. Okay, so you got these nice little ability trees. Okay, leadership I need to be level 3. Huh. Okay, so there's 6 trees. Spell creation sigils. I get to make my own spells. Okay, that's going to be complicated. Okay, the Day of Swords. When is the Day of Swords? Span of Swords. Alright. Kairos the Overlord be praised. When I heard the avalanche, I feared the valley was sealed with you on the other side. The disfavored warrior clasps her gauntlet to her breastplate, the traditional salute of her legion. Yeah, okay, kind of standard RPG stuff about conversation. Right, okay. The commander wouldn't say why the governor of Lothian's Crossing would be coming, but since we have no forges here, I imagine you're here to knock some sense into the voices in her rot. She catches herself clearing her throat with a smile. I mean, mediate with the Archons so that we might agree on a plan to wipe out these Oathbreakers. But on a personal note, it is good to see another Harbinger. By Kairos' will, most of our old invasion force still lives, but most of us have been scattered across the tiers, reassigned as needs change. I miss those days, when there was so much battle ahead of us, so much glory still to be won. But I know the Archons are expecting you. Don't let me wax nostalgically about the old days. Can you hear the hum in the air, the glow around the rocks? The avalanche is Kairos' magic. The Overlord has sealed the valley. Your senses see more than mine, good fate bender. I do not pretend to know much about such things, but if that was Kairos' magic and you're here on important business, well, you don't have to be the Archon of Secrets to guess that you're here to proclaim an edict. What does Kairos have in store for the enemy? 10 years of festering plague? An edict of twisted bones? I come bearing an edict of Kairos. Our soldiers will complete their task or die. The edict is leveled against us? Her eyes widen with fear, her posture slackens. But the Scarlet Chorus prevents us from taking action. Why would the Overlord punish both of... She clears her throat with a sigh. Forgive me, it is not my place to question. We should have conquered the enemy within weeks of arriving in the valley. The delay reflects poorly on all of us. Okay, if we all follow Kairos' the insurrection, no harm will come to any of us. Gain minor favor. Glare silently, gain very minor wrath. 2 Archons and their armies cannot take a citadel they've taken before. Of course Kairos is displeased. Subterfuge. Your first instinct is to blame the Scarlet Chorus. No wonder Kairos resorts to an edict to enforce order. Yes, well, her eyes shift to the side. There has indeed been little goodwill between our armies, and you are right. When we do act as we do, what choice do we give the Overlord? She takes a deep breath, nodding as she exhales. And you are right, I should not cast blame so freely, especially not when talking to a servant of justice. My apologies. Well, you traveled a long way, and I won't keep you further. I'm sure the Archons will want to hear from you at... Her voice falls silent, her attention snapping eastward to alarm. Did you hear that? More runners. Third time this week. The Oathbreakers keep trying to send messengers through the mountains to gather help from outside the valley. She points over the collapsed path by which you arrived. But they're a bit too late for that now. Come, let's show these Oathbreakers a good fight. Yeah, who knows, Adam? Maybe there are limits to his power. Apparently he's 400 years old, they said, something like that. 430 years old. Okay, how do I start the battle here? Let's see here. Alright, unpause.
Right.
Okay, see if we can knock him unconscious,
Sorry,
I guess?
I can't.
I can't?
On it.
Okay, yeah, this is pretty much like the Pillars of Eternity fighting system. Dodge, parry, endurance, will, magic defense, armor. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. It's got a cooldown on it, of course. Alright. Well, just keep hitting him with my sword.
I got it.
Okay. Do I get anything for flanking him?
Will do. On it. On it.
This guy's taking a while to die. Okay, level up. So I get to spend a talent point. Let's see here. Why does it have me looking at my spell creation here? I don't understand why that's being highlighted. Okay. Okay. Here's where I put my points, right? Okay, I need to be level 3 before I can do any of that. Cleave sounds good. I thought it said I just leveled up. How come I can't spend the point? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thought it told me I leveled up. Oh well. Squeeze through the gap or move over. I can move over. Alright. Got a critical hit. Okay. Nice. Cooldown on these abilities takes a while, too. I'm just setting up for it a while. Alright. That went down a lot faster. Any way I can heal the guard? Okay, no, that just used it on me. Okay. I can't just pass the potion to him, huh? Okay. Well, I just wasted the potion.
On it.
Okay, that didn't work. I need to... Okay, let's see here. Game, auto pause. Alright.
On it.
Yeah, took more work than I would have liked. I can't loot that guy? Okay. Don't bother with me! Go down to the pass, Drastus. You're wounded and it's not trivial. This is but a scratch. I've seen twice as worse 10 times over. If you'll let me help. Raven Ass protects. You go and help the others. Okay. Slash and pierce. Is this a two-handed weapon? It's one-handed, it says. Okay. Better DPS.
Can't do that.
Try and catch me, worm.
A young Scarlet Fury weaves through the Vendrian Guard attackers, avoiding their weapons with fluid grace. She nods to acknowledge you. The elite fighters of the Scarlet Chorus, distinguished from their graceful attacks and murderous persistence. Better armed and trained than most Chorus conscripts, the Furies are found among the vanguard of their battle. Their brutal displays of skill and inspiring bloodlust in the masses and fear in the enemy. Okay. This one's crazy. Too much lead in her water. We should cut our losses and turn back.
Ha! Fate Finder. Here at last. Care to join me in putting these cowards out of their
For the realm of the Apex, charge! The Vendrian Guard leveled their weapons in advance.
To battle!
Got them in my sights.
I'm not dead yet.
Phew. I can tell you didn't spend the conquest in a diplomat's tent.
The fighter surveys the fresh corpses and nods with satisfaction.
I'm Verse, by the way. But there are more important things to take care of than introductions. Those Vendrian Guard we killed didn't come alone.
Why are the Vendrian Guard attacking now?
My guess? The Vendrian Guard are testing our strength in battle, learning how we perform before they organize a real offensive. That, or they're really desperate to get beyond the mountains and couldn't wait until nightfall.
You fight like a storm. What's your role in the army?
A Scarlet Fury, one of the elite killers of our ignoble gang. You'll see more than a few of us around camp, but Most of the soldiers in the Scarlet Chorus are little more than farmers and children armed with rusted forks. Makes them easier to control. The voices of Nerat called his best fighters to this siege. There must be something important about Vendrian's well, though don't ask me what. The Archon isn't in the habit of spilling secrets.
I'm ready if you are.
Eager! I like that. Before we go, you might search among the remains of our fallen comrades. Wherever they're bound, I doubt they'll miss their boots, much less any rings or any useful iron they might be clutching.
Okay, I can either gain fear or loyalty. Okay.
No reason to pity the fallen. For the voices of Nerat!
I don't have enough. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. I guess what I have is better. Okay. Vendrian Guard bronze armor. Sure. I need 35 Lord over that. Okay. Rogue's leathers. Oh, she uses two-handed. Oh, she uses two weapons. Yeah, this is my first time playing this. I have no idea what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm still level 1.
Will do.
Eyes forward, no looking back. The Vendrian Guard warrior roars with his falcons held high, his words largely lost over the din of combat. Stand aside, or your funeral will be over the side of the bluff. I applaud your bravery, but I implore you to end this foolishness and lay down your arms. Not a chance. If I surrender, I'm as good as dead. At least we can drag some of Kairos' chosen along our short journey to the void. As he signals his men to charge, the sound of chanting rises from the south, drawing his attention. Scarlet Chorus reinforcements, hurry! Mocking blaze. Run down the Oathbreakers, let none escape! From the red mob of reinforcement from the south, a blood chanter emerges at the head of the rabble, the ornamental crest of her staff pulsing with crimson tones. Signing sigils of magic and wordlessly moving her mouth, the blood chanter describes a series of spells into the air. A red glow surrounds the Vendrian Guard warriors as the chanter's magic worms its way into their minds, blinding them with rage. Tarkus Demas. Hold position, all of you! You there! Keep to the path! The warriors gestures along the canyon trail, but his soldiers turn their attention to the Scarlet Chorus, roaring challenges. No! Don't engage them! We need to run! His orders falling on deaf ears, the warrior reluctantly readies his weapon.
I'm not... here to make friends.
Okie doke. These guys are hurting. Okay.
On my command!
Thousand strikes. -3 armor all. That kind of hurt. Crescent Runner. Come quick, we have a situation on the cliffside. They have the commander.
On it.
Okay. Stow your weapons, or we find out how long a man screams before hitting the ravine down below. Cornered between a precipitous drop and a bang of angry soldiers, the Oathbreaker warrior holds a disfavored officer at knife point. Skewer him! Worry not for me! Graven Ash will protect! The disfavored officer winces, blood seeping from the seams of his bracer and cuirass. Oh, you heard the man. He plainly invited you to use that little blade of yours. What are you waiting for? Permission from your pimp? This blade, with a jerk of the knife, he slices off a clump of Drastus' maddest hair. If you're so eager to see your ally dead, just step closer. Lower your weapon, then charge forward and wrest the knife from him. That's right, the rest of you. Now drop your weapons! With his attention on the other warriors, you dash forward. He reaches out with his dagger to slay Drastus, but your hand is already on his wrist. With a wrenching twist, you mangle his hand, dropping the dagger harmlessly to the ground. The disfavored warriors rush forward from either side of you. Tyrell barely manages a strained gasp before being hacked and impaled upon their swords and spears. Kairos be praised! That Oathbreaker fought with the rage of Charon himself. Drastus slides his trembling hand along the cut on his neck. Thank you, Fakebinder. I thought today was my last. From the look of it, I guess they thought if they swarmed the past, maybe one might make it out. He found a few scraps of parchments on the bodies. Drastus holds out a handful of crumpled parchment for your inspection. A student of letters such as yourself should be able to make sense of this. Examine the parchment. Repeating the same messages in different written scripts, the parchments explain that Vendrian guards desire to overthrow Kairos' archons and rout their armies from the tiers. The pages aren't addressed to any specific reader, but rather openly invites all who remain loyal to the younger realms to gather at Vendrian's well. Recruitment material. They were trying to bring more traitors to the fight.
Well, from the look of it, we kept them from slipping out of the valley. Whatever they hoped to accomplish, I think their plan died here. The Archons are expecting you. When you're ready, leave by the gate to the southeast and follow the trails downslope for a few hours. You'll see the campfires leagues away. Can't miss it.
No, that's a two-handed weapon. Can I equip this? +1 quickness. Okay. Sounds good to me.
On it.
The Archon demands all prisoners be given a chance to serve the chorus. The lying horse spawn had their chance long ago. I say kill it. The prisoner says his name's Tarkos Demos, Drastus lets out alongside, tapping his gauntlet finger to his temple. Then I don't think this is a complicated matter. He dies. His family's been a driving force of the Vendrian Guard. Killing him should demoralize whatever's left of the Tarkus clan. All must be given a chance to find absolution and service to the Scarlet Chorus. The mage points a finger at the disfavored officer. And you know full well that this has always been our way. He has a chance to be slave or soldier. Only then do we feed him to the pigs. We let you take prisoners, but you can't control them. You send these conscripts out on patrol and they never return, defecting all over again. I can't let this nonsense strategy continue. Well, I insist the Oathbreaker be taken to the voices of Nurai, leaving us at an impasse. Fortunately, we have a Fatebinder here to settle the matter for us.
I guess leave the person alive.
No, this is the sort of mess that got it. Nonsense that got us in the mess we're in now. If we keep showing these mongrels mercy, they'll just bite us time and time again.
If you will calm your nerves, I assure you this one won't be put on the battlefield. The mage snaps her fingers loudly, gesturing for her gang to listen.
Make sure the prisoner is taken straight to the voices of Narat. I won't keep you here any longer, Fatebinder. I know you have important business in the valley.
Drastus salutes you, his iron gauntlet rapping against his breastplate.
For the glory of Kairos!
Fatebinder, what an honor to have one of Tunan's court visit our humble holdfast. Need supplies? If so, you've come to the right place. I trust you've been granted proper stewardship of the goods you're peddling. You see, Fatebinder, the merchant cranes her head to the side, scratching her neck. I think so. I've been handed these bits of scripts. She reaches across a stack of provisions to snatch a scroll case. But I'm not a woman of letters. Numbers are my strength, so you can well imagine. Let me see those. Certainly, good Fatebinder. She hands you the scroll case with a wearing a quizzical expression.
A cursory read indicates the merchant is granted the unlimited right to trade in a logistical capacity. While not supporting an active battle, she has the right to trade grain, copper, and olives anywhere in the tiers. Where did you get these? Harchion Bronze acquired these on my behalf from Archon Tunan's of agents, I believe. Her expression shows deep concern. Do you see any issue? Well, it looks like we have a slight problem here. A problem? But how could that be? I paid a span's profit for the stewardship. What sort of problem is there? You have the right to trade as a part of an active war effort. Currently, it would seem our armies are unable or unwilling to fight. See the problem? Oh, I see the problem. Her eyes narrow as her hands slide towards the string of copper around her waist. Let's skip some steps in this dance, shall we? She holds up part of a string of copper rings dangling from her fingers. A donation to the court. Call it a proper fine. Call it a tribute to our protection. Just call off your game if you say yes. Keep your coins, just give me the friends rate. So be it. A smile creeps across her face. We'll trade as friends, and I'll not warn the other merchants of your flippant justice. How's trade? Well, this is a service posting. No profit up here in the pass. That's Harchion Bronze's orders. But when we march out of the valley, I'll be back on my own schedule, and there's to hoping this year is a good one. The Overlord forbids the extortion of the pathways. Good thing, too, because in the years past, I'd lose most of my profits to tolls. Couldn't turn a copper if I tried to haul long distance. Let's see what you have. I mean, it's the same crap. Okay. Alright, 3 gold and 50 copper. Nothing she's selling is better than what I have. I'll just take the money. I mean, if I could sell that for cash, I guess I'll take it.
What do we have here?
Potion of invisibility. Interesting. Fatebinder, we are honored by your presence. What's the situation here in Vendrian's Well? The Oathbreakers hold the citadel at the heart of the valley, the one built around the base of the spire. Aurora points east towards the tower in the distance. The Mittani River has been our largest headache during the siege. It's unsafe for armored troops to ford, save for at key locations, and the enemy knows this as well as we do.
I know we'd be a lot farther along if the Scarlet Chorus used its alleged strength in numbers to ford the river themselves and overwhelm the enemy. Aurora looks at Verse with a disapproving air. As it is, we must take the valley slowly and advance the disfavored bulwark, since that's where the real work gets done. I don't have the lore to answer that way. How am I supposed to get my lore up if I don't have the lore to raise the skill? Okay. Because all it takes is numbers to cross the river under a hail of arrows. If the disfavored were quicker to act, maybe the Vendrian Guard wouldn't be so trained to face us. Aurora is correct. The slow advance will win out. Without question, patience and determination will deliver the Tearsmen to us in chains. What can you tell me of Vendrian? These are the last gasp of the Younger Realms. Among them are warriors that escaped the Bastard City siege, a few refugees from other victories, and a bunch of Vendrian locals with delusions of independence. How long have you been with the disfavored? 7 years. She pauses to count on her fingers. 2 seasons, mayhap a handful of days. I trained at Fort Resolution a bit before the conquest. Compared to the commanders you find around camp or stationed at Iron Hearth, that makes me one of the young bloods. This has been a long and grueling campaign, but the end is in sight. We'll soon have the Oathbreakers back under control. Then we can rest, retrain, and even cycle out troops so we can see our families again. See anything interesting? I saw a forge-bound artisan set himself on fire. Occupational hazard. That was an unpleasant day. The first of many, to be honest. Okay.
Sorry, I can't.
Skycap.
Sorry, I can't. Can't do that.
Okay. Where are they going? They're going all the way around? Okay. Need to hire subterfuge to open the lock.
Sorry, I can't.
I guess I go this way. But I do have a time limit. Okay. Take what you can carry, but leave the cart, otherwise we seize you and your wares. This is robbery. This is Kairos' law. Hail, Fate Binder. The disfavored scout nods at your approach. Camp's a fun ahead. Don't mind us. Just clearing out the rabble. Well, I still don't understand what I've done to offend you. I respect that these are now disfavored lands, and I'm happy to give the Legion a proper toll, but she's going on about trading rights. What nonsense is that? I'm not allowed to trade one thing for another. It's not like I'm selling weapons to angry peasants or anything of the sort. You're on disfavored land, and these warriors have every right to kill you. You should be more than thankful they're even listening to your speak. The Overlord regulates all trade. If you lack the proper permits, your goods are forfeit. Or this is none of my concern, carry on.
A trade permit? How was to whom would I speak to for such a thing?
Not us, and not our problem. Maybe march your butt to Bastard City and plead your case before Tunon, and we'll lighten your burden and relieve you of your wares first. That should make the long trek a bit more bearable.
But I'm only here to peddle my wares. I mean no harm.
The merchant takes a step back, his eyes scanning the soldiers for signs of movement.
If you think I'm a threat to this favor count, then you seriously overestimated me. Please, how do I make this right? The sound of it sounds like I'm about to be robbed.
You're not the only one. I'm being robbed of patience as we speak. We should move on, Fatebinder. Petty disputes are beneath us both. Robbed? No, you fool. You're being granted life after trespassing on our lands. All for the simple price of what's in your cart. Not our fault you don't have the permits in order. I guess let them take his stuff.
Right.
I know we're both eager to watch the Archons bicker over tactics like a pair of magpies, but I need to ask you something first. The voices in Nerat told me that you've come as a mediator. Considering the source, I can't help but feel I'm only hearing half the story, so let's have it out. What's so special about you? The voices in Nerat asked you to spy on me.
Well, are you even surprised? He's the Archon of Secrets. Knowing in advance is his business, so is snatching up any advantage over Graven Ash. Those two compete like a couple of new recruits for a spot around the fire. It's nothing nefarious. The Voices is just curious why you're here. If he wanted to know more, you wouldn't be able to suss it out that easily. He would have sent one of his scarier peons in my stead.
What else has the Voices of Nerat told you?
Only that I could find you in the Edgering ruins. Truthfully, I could have picked you out of the crowd. You're the only one of us who haven't spent the last few months bathing in the stink of the Matani River.
I'm here to deliver an edict from Kairos.
Well, that makes a crazy kind of sense. Considering how long the siege has taxed the armies, I can understand why Kairos would send you with an edict to spend things up along. Have you read it? Do you know what it says? The Archons must claim Ascension Hall by Kairos' Day of Swords, or all will perish. One more thing for the Archons to fight over. Well, thanks for cluing me in. If Kairos sends any lightning our way, just tell me when to duck.
I really ought to be meeting with the Archons. Okay.
Sorry, I can't.
Oh. Okay. Not enough subterfuge to open that.
Go no further. You approached his favorite ground. State your business.
I am Marcus Sparks, Fatebinder of Tunon. I bring word from Kairos, words for your commander's ears.
Ah, so you're the Firestarter. Cavius and the companies returning from the Burning Library are telling some harrowing stories about Kairos' Edict of Fire. I think myself brave, but I'm happy to have been far away from it all. Must have been a terrifying honor to be the messenger of such a righteous force. Go on in. The Archons are expecting you, and you'll find them in the war tent, center of the camp.
Yeah, we don't seem to have anything I need quite yet. Okay, apparently I can just steal these boots, though. Glory to the voices of Nurat! Projecting his salutation for all to hear, the grinning blood chanter raps his staff against the ground. Fatebinder, I presume. His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitterquip. I am here as an emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Okay, so he just gonna tell us the same. All the questions seem to be the same stuff. Oh. I'm just still feeling kind of tired. I'll come back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be playing, but should be able to find something. I think maybe go back to East too. Alright, have a good night, everybody. Stay safe.